Hey fighters, Sean here to know the fight. This week we're still talking about anger. Anger is a dish best served cold. That's not how that goes. Just get back from Chick-fil-A. Delicious sweet tea. If you're angry and you're inside of a Chick-fil-A, dang man, you need help. I heard somebody cursing the other day in the Chick-fil-A. In just normal conversation, and I'm surprised their lips did not bust into flames. The moment anger comes over you in a Chick-fil-A, you have been transported, man. There's nothing bad happens inside of a Chick-fil-A. That's a company that does it right, man. I mean, so I walked in one day and my card got hacked and I didn't know. Truth be told, I went to Panda Express, swiped my card, it got declined. I checked online, I have money in it, so I'm thinking it's just theirs, right? Just their system declined it. And when you get declined, man, I was embarrassed. I was like, man, I know I have money. And they took the food they already made and threw it away. They threw it away in the trash. Like, yeah, you can't have this, I'm sorry. So then I walk across the street or across the parking lot to a Chick-fil-A. I was like, okay, it's their system, I have the money. So I swiped the card again and declined. I'm like, what is going on? So I looked at him, I was like, it's okay. And he goes, you know what? Don't worry about it. It's on us. And they gave me the food anyway. I said, well, I'm coming back to pay you. He goes, no, I don't want your money. So I'm sorry this happened to you. Just let this be on us. I was like, dang. Okay. All right. What was awesome is that I had the chance to really kind of get upset. But Chick-fil-A is like, I got you, man. I'll give you the food. And that's when I found out. So I called the bank, found out my card was hacked. That's just, Chick-fil-A always does it right. Who doesn't get it right is this guy. I've been in martial arts I used to say my entire life. I've been in martial arts in 20 years, right? And so, let me rephrase that. From now on, I have to rephrase it because I'm just now getting back into it. Been to one class in the month they've been going on because I go in and out of town. I used to do martial arts. Muay Thai, Taekwondo, Aikido. It was huge. And certain teachers would teach me certain things. Some would teach me aggression is the way to go. Intimidate before attack so that you would dodge the fight altogether. Some would say lay back, let them think you don't have anything, and then surprise them with it. It all depended on the teacher that I had at that moment. And so when you have so many different teachers, you kind of try it all out in your life. I'm kind of get real personal here, so bear with me. So when I first got married, Sasha and I would, like I said in the last video, argue. And I would try to intimidate by like beefing up and kind of take a couple steps closer to her. I wouldn't threaten her, but I would let her know I'm a tough guy. My favorite thing in the world is when Sasha stood up to me one time, stood up and she looks at me and she goes, you're not going to intimidate me. And I was like, dang, I was intimidated. I was like, I am not going to intimidate you. I didn't even realize I was doing it. It really was a subconscious thing because I wouldn't intentionally try to intimidate my bride, but she looked at me, she goes, look what you did. You just approached me. And I was thinking, I'm approaching you because I'm talking to you and I'm getting heated, but in all actuality, if I really dialed it down, if I really kind of tuned into what was going on, I was trying to intimidate her, and she was not intimidated. My bride is not intimidated about anything, except for maybe being on one of these videos. So because I didn't realize I did that, I started to realize how often I did. In the midst of my anger, I would try to intimidate my way out of a situation. So when I would talk to customers, when I would talk to people, when I would talk to, customer service, I would try to intimidate my way to get what I want. And it was horrible. It was obnoxious. I hated it. The hardest part I can really kind of confess to you guys is that I learned this too late in my life because, I had Thomas at 18 and I realized that I taught him this at an early age. Now you have to understand, Thomas is not an aggressive guy or anything like that, but he can be. He wouldn't understand why he'd be so mad, and so he would lash out. By the time he was 16, 17 years old, He would yell at me about something. I just didn't play that game. And I would try to intimidate him back down, and it would work. But I just reinforced the fact that he tried to intimidate me because Thomas is bigger than I am. I'm not saying that your kid should ever talk to you like that. Ever. For any reason, your kid shouldn't talk to you like that. And I didn't let him talk to me like that. I just think I did the wrong thing in that situation. When you're about to get exposed, that you don't want anybody to know, because it'll just mean you'll get more and more trouble, or you'll be held more accountable for your actions. We tend to do whatever we can to keep that from happening. So we'll lie more, we'll bribe, we'll beg, we'll lash out, anything to keep that lie from being exposed. And so we show the world, or even just that person, the worst part of ourselves just to maintain being exposed. And it's like we would rather them be scared of finding out the truth than finding out the truth itself and dealing with the issue and being able to move on. And unfortunately, I taught him that. So, without getting a huge backstory of what was going on, Thomas yelled at me because I was about to expose a lie that he's been hiding from us for weeks. And I was going straight to the source, which was his school, about what was going on. And he just yelled at me to get back in the car. And I yelled back, and we got into it, and around it went. And being a young dad, I'm not going to say it's an excuse. I know a lot of young dads that knocked it out of the park. I just know I handled that wrong. So, fast forward, I'm married to Sasha, and she exposes that part of me, and I didn't realize just how deep it went. So I wanted to change it because I know anger can be a generational curse, and it's a generational seed that will affect your family for generations to come, which can tank relationships, which can tank families, because all they're dealing with is the aftermath of your anger. And I didn't want that. I wanted to end it with Thomas. I wanted to end it with the girls. And so I started thinking, how can I do that? I'm actually debating whether to even talk about it on this video, but the word slowly kept creeping up. Slowly. You do it slowly. Slowly. I have programmed responses in my body. If I'm threatened, I threaten back. If I'm challenged, I challenge back. These are programmed responses. So there's things I had to do to break these processes. You can't react the same way. So you have to get ahead of it. You have to anticipate an argument and deflect. You have to anticipate a problem and work through it personally before it's addressed, or before you can address it. Because if you don't do that, then as soon as the problem hits, you're going to react. You don't want to react. You want to act on the situation. Because in that reaction, that knee-jerk reaction, you'll end up hurting yourself or hurting people around you. Because that's what it is. It's knee-jerk. You don't mean to, but that's what comes out. And just because you don't mean to, it's not an excuse to let it happen. So, so I started thinking about my girls and Thomas. There's this face you get when you're angry. There's this face where they can read it all over you, and I can't do it because I'm not angry right now. It's not one you can really, make up or whatever. You can try, but it becomes over dramatic or comical. That's not what I'm gonna do. I also don't want to show you my angry face either. But I never want my children to see my angry face again. I don't want them, when they close their eyes, to remember that face I give them. And it's not the disappointment face. It's not that you can do better face. It's the angry face where you can't talk because you're so angry. I don't want to show that to them. Because when they look at my face, I want them to see more than that. Now, they'll know I'm angry, but I have to have more control over my body, over my face, over my mind, and over my spirit to control that. Not only do I not want them to see it on my face, I don't want them to hear it in my voice. I want my voice to be a voice of protection, of love, embracement. Now I'm not saying that they shouldn't fear me, a respectful fear of, hey, if you get in trouble, dad's going to get on to you and stuff. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking the next step past that. the step where you're shaking or you're so upset that your internal organs are almost on fire, and it's about to come out your lips to where they don't even part, but fire comes out of them. That's what I'm talking about. And so as a dad, I want to portray all parts of who I am. I don't want to cover it up. If I'm angry, I have to tell them that they've made me upset, that they've angered me. I have to tell them, but it's how you tell them is so important, because how you react in anger is how they will react in anger. Because of that, because it's so serious, when it comes to your children, they're going to recreate your emotions. They'll remember half of what you say and all of what you do. Your kids will always mimic the worst parts about you. I remember when I found out that Thomas's mom was pregnant, her dad said, whatever part of you that you don't like, you need to get rid of right now. That was like the wisest thing in that moment I could have heard, because there's a whole lot of stuff I did not like about myself that I did not want Thomas to have. So you don't pass it on, so it doesn't become such a huge issue. 3 things I want to cover next time you get angry. Whether you're in front of your kids or not, these are really good things to hold on to and breathe out the process of your anger. Number 1, just let it go. Just let it go. The Bible says don't let sunset on it. Don't let the sun set on your anger. So I get it. Just let it go. You want to hold on to it because sometimes it feels good to be so angry, and it kind of gives you more energy and lights you up inside. Being that excited about anger is a huge warning sign. Just let it go. Don't wait till the morning. Don't wait till the next day. Let it go right then and there, because it's not hurting who you're mad at. It's just poisoning you. Number 2, don't take it personal. Usually when somebody's making you angry, it's because we've taken it personal. That person probably didn't even mean it personally. They're just wrapped up in what they're going through, and the junk they're going through ended up on your plate. Don't take it personally. Realize it's what they're dealing with, and unfortunately, sometimes you have to deal with it too. And number 3, expect sunshine. When I say expect sunshine, I mean in every argument, in every situation, if you realize that the problem is going to be solved, it's not going to be dark and gloomy. You're not always going to see red. Breathe through it and expect sunshine. Expect and start seeing the greatness on the other side of this argument. I'll leave you with this. James 1:19 says, "Dear brothers and sisters, take note of this. Everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to anger." Quick to listen. And the reason why it says quick to listen is because you don't know the whole story until you've heard the whole story. So when somebody's talking to you, when you hear gossip, when you hear somebody's point of view or whatever it is, they're saying more than their words. They're saying stuff with their body language, with their intention, with their eyes, with their face. They're saying more than just the words they're saying. There's so much more coming out of a person if you really pay attention, if you really listen. That's why it says, be quick to listen and slow to speak, because when you speak, you interrupt the entire thing. And it says, be slow to anger. It doesn't say don't get angry. It says be slow to anger. Make sure it's something you should be angry about. Because most of the time what we're angry about is that something's not going right in our life, that it vents out in any way you can justify being angry. To be honest, every argument I have, or every discussion I have, or any type of conflict I have, I can care less about how it started. Only thing I care about is resolution. I want to know, what can we do to move on from here that I can help you the most? I don't mind saying I'm wrong. I don't mind saying it's my fault. I don't mind saying I'm sorry if that helps move along the process. Because I know I'm not perfect. I know I've done things horribly wrong. And pretty much in every situation, there's things that I can apologize for and take ownership of. So don't let anger rest in you. Don't let anger burn up your intention. Don't let anger burn up your character. Talk about it. Work it out. Work through it. Don't let it rest on the shoulders of your children because you didn't learn how to handle your anger, even if it means doing it slowly.